Welcome back. It's Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, yep. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Okay.
Yep.
So we decided that we would start off with a fun game. Maybe fun. We'll see.
Jennie has already, if I hold it up like this, you all can read it. I can actually read through here because Jennie knows what it is.
I glanced at it. I didn't read them in depth. Trying to be fair.
We'll see.
Okay.
But we're going to start with the game again this week, and that's kind of our going to be our theme, I think. First Sunday of the month, we'll do live like we did this last Sunday.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them will be recorded. But the first one that we film is going to be, we're going to open up with a little bit of a game. So how does this work? Do we flip it over and fill it out as quick as possible? Is this like a time deal or?
Yes, it's a couple of matches. The most answers wins.
Okay.
So we'll just fill it out real quick.
Okay.
Because we didn't fill it out beforehand.
Okay. Well, why'd you pick this game then?
Hey, it's the first one that came up.
I mean, this ain't much of a Valentine's game. I mean, it's just going to get people in trouble. Where'd you meet high school?
Yep, at school.
Yep, school. Okay.
First date.
I put Ruby Tuesdays.
I put movies.
Did we go to both?
Probably.
So we're both gonna get it. I'm gonna give me a point and a point.
I don't know. I'm trying to think though. I think we just went to the movies that night, but okay. First kiss.
Did we just? We would have went and ate. Yeah, first kiss was. I put your
driveway.
In the driveway,
which we were in the car. So.
Yeah. Both got a point there. Who said I love you first? I put me.
I said it.
Yeah.
With some question marks.
Who is the better cook?
You.
That's an easy one. That's me.
What's our song?
George Strait, Cross My Heart.
Yep.
Who spends more money? You know why? Because everything that I want, I'm sponsored by the people that I get it from. So if I had to buy what I have, then it would definitely, it would be me. Who's more romantic? Most definitely Jennie. Who wears the pants? Me, kind of.
I said me.
So
then I put both.
Yeah.
I said me, but then both.
So
because it depends on the situation, I feel like. There's some things I'm more, I'm going to stand my ground, and there's more things that you'll stand your ground. So. Yeah.
And then we generally compromise on a lot of stuff. So I guess we both got that. I put me kind of.
You don't compromise a whole lot.
I'm not typically. I'm usually right.
Who's messier?
You.
Me.
That was a fact. And actually, on that one, just
Me so.
Well, I think it's funny because today, taking the kids to school, Abbie's riding in the front seat. She says, "Dad, Mom is just a mess. I mean, look at all this stuff that's in her car. If we were in your truck, Dad, you've got one pair of sunglasses and one hat. She's got this bag and this and all these pairs of glasses and
my
all
purse
this.
is in there because the van key's typically in my purse, so we always leave my purse in there.
So it requires a purse to have a key, okay?
Well, no, but that's usually where it's at.
Okay.
And then I wear a pair of driving regular glasses if it's not sunny. I have a pair of prescription sunglasses.
Yes, 3 pairs.
No, I keep 2 in the middle, and then I have my backups in the side door.
So 3 pair of each, like I just said.
It's because I lose things.
Whatever.
But I just think that it's funny that that's a question.
And I have to travel with all of your kids.
And that Abbie actually said that exactly today. Who is funnier, me for sure.
I put you. Whatever.
Because you knew I would. Who takes longer to get ready? You. Yep.
But you put apologizes first.
Me.
I said neither.
I put me because you typically, if it's something to apologize for, you're going to.
I have to apologize a lot.
Actually, that was kind of my thought process, is that you generally don't have to apologize.
Yeah.
That you hold your ground until I do apologize. Yeah. So.
Better gift giver, me.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
So who wins?
I think we actually. We nailed those.
Yeah. It was good. I like the messier question. It's probably my favorite one. Okay, so this week I hope number one, we hope y'all have enjoyed these. I know we definitely have. And one thing that I think that we want to start doing, we've been putting a verse on there, but we actually want to start opening up with a verse that kind of fits the theme of the episode. And for this one, the verse that kind of came to mind was 2 Peter 3:9, and it said, "The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance." Whatever our walk of life is, we want God to answer stuff on our time. That's a lot of what we want as a generation and stuff. But the part of that, it's not just the Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness, but he's patient with all of us because of this, the biggest part of it. He doesn't want anyone to perish. He doesn't want anybody to die and go to hell. He wants us all to come to repentance, to have a right relationship with him. So that promise, that's not just about, it's certainly not about the least important things, which are what we'll experience here on this earth. It's about us coming to repentance, to come to know him, to see who he is and why we need him. That's what that verse is mostly referring to. So, where are we in our life journey?
We ended it with qualifying for the FLW tour and finding out we're pregnant with Abbie.
Yeah. So that was, obviously a huge thing. Jennie coming to that event in Missouri, us being there together and finding out that she was pregnant and that we would be welcoming our first child.
The night that we found out, before we I took the test at night and then we didn't call anybody until the next morning. But I dreamed that night, I woke up and I was like, "Oh, I know we're having a girl." And you can tell?
How do you know?
How do you know? And I was like, I swear I dreamed that in my dream, my mom was holding our baby and it was blonde-headed, blue-eyed, looked just like me. But she was 8 or 9 months old,
right?
Because she was an older baby. And I remember just being that has to be a sign, we're having a girl.
Yeah.
And so, I was just dead set we were having a girl from that moment. I think we all secretly, because I had an older brother, Ott had an older brother, and, I always liked having an older brother. So I was really okay with having a boy first, having, and for my parents, my brother had his daughter already. So, of course they want a boy.
Yeah. My dad,
he was good either way.
Yeah.
I probably really more wanted a girl just because.
Yeah, he never got to have any of his own.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just a fun little keep in your back pocket moment.
Yeah. But yeah, so ended 2006. Still working full time. And from that point on, once we found out Jennie was pregnant, actually she didn't work anymore. Her last.
We kind of decided that.
Yeah.
It was going to be our chance to go and travel full time before we add a baby to our list. And so where I was working was actually a little company up the road where they painted and made crankbaits. So that was my thing, is I would help put them together and help paint. And of course it was a small area. And so when I told them I was pregnant, they were like, "I don't know that you can be in here. We're just not sure if ventilation is good enough." And so, but it was okay. It was good. We had decided that, hey, this is. Yeah.
And that was always, as Jennie had said and once before, she knew she wanted to be a mom. That was, her drive in life was that she knew she wanted to be a mom. And there was never a thought, in my mind either, of anybody babysitting our kids for us full time or anything like that. Our parents all worked, so it wasn't like any of them could keep them full time, if Jennie went back to work. So it was definitely our goal that,
that I could stay home.
That Jennie would stay home. So that was definitely the goal. And so that rolled into 2007, FLW tour, fishing that first year as a rookie. And Jennie's going to be traveling with me full time. And actually, there was a pretty big group of us from here around home. Brandon Coulter and I had traveled together in 2006. We knew we wanted to travel again together in 2007. Jack Wade also traveled
Sammy
with us.
Orr.
And Mark Malden fished most of the year as a boater. So there were 4 of us who were pros.
Yeah.
And then 4 co-anglers, Sammy Orr, Lee Varner, Jeff.
Yep.
Tommy Brown went with us some too.
Yeah, he was in some of them.
But yeah, there was like eight to 10 guys from around here that.
And I was the only girl.
Yeah, and Jennie was the only girl in the bunch.
Yeah.
But probably one of the most memorable was the very first one. It really was. Not just because of the way the tournament ended up, but it was down on Lake Travis in Texas, where you actually have a stop there this year on the Bass Pro Tour.
Yep.
I've only fished there once since, and that was in the Elite Series just a couple of years ago. But we rented a big, nice house.
It's a nice house, yeah.
That was there. That was big enough to hold all of us. We could get it pretty cheap because there was so many of us going. But yeah, rented a big, nice house. And Jack loves to make breakfast. That's Jack Wade's thing. He loved to make breakfast. And so he told Jennie, he made a deal with her to start of the week. He said, I'll get up and cook. He said, as long as you'll do the dishes. She's like,
game
works for me. So that was a pretty good arrangement we had there, that Jack would get up and make a big spread of breakfast.
And for me, I was like 5 months pregnant, so I'd get up at like 5 in the morning, eat breakfast, go back to bed. It was amazing.
Yeah, she had the house all to herself. It was quiet all day. Did Dad come?
I don't think he was there. Okay. Because I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because he would have stayed with us if he was there.
Yeah, I don't remember him being at that one. But that was my very first FLW Tour event. All the way down there on a place I've never been before in Texas, and ended up actually making a top 10 there. So that was an awesome start to that career. So I couldn't imagine that, honestly, of working out any better.
Yeah.
And just as far as the fishing part of that goes, it was funny because we were down there. It was like February, I think. It was pretty cold. And Jack had told me beforehand, he said, this lake is a lot like some of our lakes here at home. It's deep, clear. He's like, man, you ought to take your float and fly rod. And I'm like, okay. That was a wintertime technique that we did a lot here back in that time. And that was how I made the top 10. was throwing a float and fly. And I remember fishing by Larry Nixon. We were kind of point hopping each other going up the lake. And he could tell by the way I was fishing and stuff. He knew I wasn't fishing conventionally. And he pulled up to me and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm just crappie fishing. He said, no, you ain't. I know it. He kind of gave me a hard time. And here I am, a rookie, and Larry Nixon is pulling up to me on the water.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really cool. But yeah, that was and actually I caught like a 5.5 pounder the second day on that float and fly. Larry had just fished this point and left it, throwing a jig or a crankbait, whatever. And I pull up there right after he's left and catch that big fish. So that's some of those things you just don't forget.
Yeah. Yep, and of course for us, because we're stepping up to the FLW tour, it was obviously a lot more expensive for us, and I'm not working at all, and so going and making a top 10 on our first tournament was just kind of like okay, we're supposed to be here. Like, this is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it absolutely was, and that, I remember going to those, especially when we started FLW, we had mentioned that going to a few of the focus meetings with the FLW series the year before. That was, that became a definite focus of ours, because we knew we needed, that we were relying on God heavily at that point, because it was, if things didn't go well, this wasn't going to last very long.
It was make or break at this point.
Yeah, it was so expensive that we needed things to go well, and so our faith was heavily relying on God, that if this is what we were supposed to do, that He would show us, and that He would allow that to happen. And if it wasn't, then it wasn't. It wasn't going to be the end of the world. But that this was, if this is where we're supposed to be, that He made a way, and not only made a way, but then we also would glorify Him through that. That was definitely the goal there. So, but yeah, to have been starting something so big, so new, so much different.
Come out with a bang.
Yeah, to come out with definitely was a big relief. Growing family, growing career, all the above. One thing, just a funny tidbit I think of is that group of guys that we travel with, still pretty close with a lot of them. Lee Varner, he's an electrician here in this part of the country, but he and Brandon Coulter shared a room a lot of the times. And Lee's kind of a neat freak.
He's a neat freak.
I mean, he likes to keep his stuff together. Brandon is not
at all.
At all. I mean,
I made a lot of money off of him.
Yeah,
room together.
I mean, his
not because I stole it. Clarify.
Varner's the biggest thing I'd take away from the time that they spent together was Lee nicknamed him Scatter. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was his nickname.
Because he came in and he emptied his pockets.
Yep.
He just wherever he came in from the door. I mean, there was just a trail of just change and
chapstick and
chapsticks, whatever he had.
Yeah, whatever was in his pockets just fell out of the floor and fell out of his pockets and hit the floor. And then at Beaver Lake later that year, I don't think you weren't.
I wasn't there.
That was like the first one you didn't go to because it was in May and Abbie was born in June. Mm-hmm. So it was just a month before Abbie was born. But Jennie booked us this place at the Hideaway Resort, I think is what it was called. Like it's not recommended.
I didn't know.
Yeah, Jennie didn't know, and it was our group had dwindled some by this time. I think it was just maybe 3 or 4 of us that was staying together at this point in time. We didn't have our cook for the evening, Jennie, with us. Mm-mm. So we're going to make spaghetti. We're going to do what Jennie would do. That was
always a staple meal, spaghetti, especially with that many people.
Yeah, and we'd cook Italian sausage with it. And Jennie would always pull the skin off of it, cook the Italian sausage so it didn't have that, that crispy.
That thick layer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Brandon is going to go ahead and get that out of the way. We didn't peel the skin off of it, and Varner would not eat it. I mean, he wanted nothing to do with it because he messed it up. I mean,
he ruined the sausage and the spaghetti.
Yeah. And also at that one, because that place was like holes in the wall and mice and different things. But Brandon would come in. He had a big, giant bag of Whoppers that he just left sitting on the table, and he'd come in every day and just shake the mice stuff off of them and eat him some Whoppers. And it just Varner couldn't believe that Brandon was doing that.
Sorry, Deanna.
Yeah.
She still has to live with him.
Yeah, she knows him. I mean, she knows him well. So.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of great memories made with that group traveling that year. It's thankfully, I think it's just Annie Montgomery and I that travel together for the most part anymore. But it was a lot of fun to get started that way, and room with a bunch of guys and that kind of stuff. But probably the reason it's just Andy and I that room together anymore.
Maybe you're the bad roommate though. Like we don't have them here to
talk
about what kind of roommate you were.
This is true. I mean, it's kind of one-sided. We might have to call them in one time. Yep. But that FLW tour season as a rookie went well. I actually, going into the last event, that's not something I wrote down on there, but I was in the running for Rookie of the Year that year. Last event was in Detroit for the FLW tour. It was on, you could fish Lake St. Clair, Lake Erie, any of that stuff. And I went out to Lake Erie. I don't know if I went both days, but I know I went the first day, and it was really rough. I remember catching 4, lost 1. They were all 3-pounders. I had would have had 12 pounds. Like I said, first time on really big water like that, coming back in, I didn't know you need to plug the overflow hole in your live well. Splashed all my water out, killed all my fish dead as a hammer, had a 2-pound penalty because they had 4 dead fish, and that 2-pound penalty cost me Rookie of the Year.
I didn't remember any of that.
Yeah.
Like none.
I mean, it was a lifetime supply of Tide, Bounty, Tide, whatever it was.
I appreciated that.
Yeah. Brian Thrift won it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Huh. I thought, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I did make the Forrest Wood Cup, so that was really exciting. That would be in August.
In Ouachita, right?
Ouachita, yeah.
Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very hot. Forrest Wood Cup was pretty. I mean, it was awesome. It was the first really big championship I had ever fished.
And both sides of our family, everybody came.
Everybody came.
A couple close couples with my parents came.
Yeah.
We were all in a big cabin, and then Aunt's parents, and I think Aunt Margie was.
Pretty sure.
Jim K.
Yeah. Yeah, they would have all been there.
So that was, and of course we have baby Abbie. She's just a couple months old, so this is kind of guess that was her first.
That was her
it was the first
trip.
time we took her on the road.
Yeah,
so.
that was a 10-hour trip. I mean, I remember her.
Yeah, she's a champ.
Just did great. Yeah.
Slept like it wasn't any issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first big trip with that, and the first big championship. Was fishing. I didn't do any good in the event, but it was awesome to get that first big championship deal.
Yeah.
Under my belt for sure. But yeah, I think that's kind of where we want to wrap it up. We'll close again with that verse that we opened with, 2 Peter 3:9. The Lord is not slow in keeping His promise, as some understand slowness. Instead, He is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. That's actually a good one for me to read a lot, because He is patient with us. I know I am very guilty of not being patient with you. No, not so much you, but with the children. A lot of times. So yeah, that's one that I need to definitely be more Christ-like in. That is to be patient with them more times, because I'm kind of like, if they don't do it, I mean, as the last word comes out of my mouth,
they should be moving.
Yeah, they should be moving. I mean, once the period is put on the end of the sentence, I expect action. And that's not necessarily the way it should be.
Everybody's working on it.
Yeah, we are. We all are. So, yeah, is that it?
I think so.
Okay.
We'll end it there.
Yeah. We'll end it there and come back next week. Yeah, come on back then, and we'll dive in a little deeper. Kind of go from late 2007 into the next year.